dear Bagginses and Boffins.
By the blood of our people, are your lands kept safe?
I see in your eyes the same fear that will take the heart of me.
So do all who live to see such times.
By all that you hold dear, this good earth. There's some good in this earth, and it's worth fighting.
Legolas and Gimli's relationship is essential for the Lord of the Rings, and I agree. I'm assuming you agree as well. I think we've talked about this quite a bit, but this.
Well, we think they should get their own spinoff.
I mean, yeah, we pitched the idea of a Legolas and Gimli just doing all this stuff that they said they would do in both the novels and in the original trilogy.
It's the best part. I mean, it's a good part of the movie, and it's also the best part of the Rings of Power show too. Is the Elrond and Durin
True
relationship too. So
True.
it's,
True. One of the best.
They've mirrored that.
Yeah, I will say now those two had already a foundation that they had pre-established, which is fine. So I do still feel like Legolas and Gimli coming together after their intense confrontation when the ring is first revealed to them. I do think there's a lot more growth with the original trilogy, but then again, it had a lot more. It was 3 movies versus the Rings of Power were just 1 season in, and that is only one small part of the overall show. So we don't have as much probably as I would prefer to see Elrond and Durin on screen, but I get why they have to kind of speed it up a little bit. But that being said, I do think that this is an important part, and it's not just an action adventure that doesn't really have a deeper interconnection of the types of creatures and races that are involved in it. And I said this before in one of our previous videos, but the hobbits are underappreciated by many fans. What they bring to the Fellowship and what they bring to the narrative of the movies as a whole, but these two being each a part of a race that hates the other initially, or at least is perceived that way, to bond so strongly with each other. If you were to pitch some of these ideas, it almost seems cheesy until you see it, right? Because the whole line about I never thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf. What about side by side with a friend? That kind of seems a bit cheesy on its surface, and yet it's very powerful in that moment, especially knowing the odds are against them and all that stuff. And so I just feel like this duo is able to transcend what a lot of movies are unable to do, in that they make this friendship not just like a silly 2 bros or whatever kind of thing. Like, they actually have this profound respect and admiration for each other, and the books do it even more. Peter Jackson had to limit what he was able to do with these guys, and Gimli is usually used for laughs, just because of time constrictions, but he is actually a pretty intelligent creature himself, and is able to quickly understand what it is that the elves are like, what their culture is about, and he ultimately starts to really like the idea of the elf culture. And so that growth, at least that's in the books anyway, that growth is I think really important, and it's again, it's one of these less focused on aspects of the movies, but I think it would be a great idea for a show, even if it's not in Lord of the Rings. I think it's a good idea to have more of these types of relationships in your action, in your sci-fi, whatever, what have you. In fact, I think it's underutilized in sci-fi. Too often we get either out and out racism, which is never addressed. It's just fought. Like, you're just battling racists. You don't normally get this idea of having these two come together and really start to learn and respect each other. Maybe you can point to some ideas that are in Star Wars or something. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I feel like Star Wars could really use something like this to elevate their their philosophies that they try to talk about.
Yeah, no, nothing's leaping to mind
No, like
immediately.
I feel like because we've seen so many different aliens, it's all kind of understood that everyone's just equal. Like all these different creatures and different types of people. There doesn't seem to be that much racism. Every once in a while, you get a little bit.
There's a little bit like there's like this is more in the shows, but like there's like two species on Mon Calamari, the Mon Cala, who are those um like the Admiral Akbar
Oh, okay,
guy,
like the fish
and,
people.
and then there's another species there called the Core, and they look more like squid. They historically don't like each other. And then there's oh, who's the two races that I'm thinking of?
Well, the one I can remember is the Gungans and the Naboo, the people of Naboo.
Yeah, that's one from the movies. Then there's these lizard people, and I think they don't like Wookiees.
Really,
And I
people don't
think
like the Wookiees? Huh.
it's like a rivalry between these two groups. Um, anyways, that's but the other guys are like most of these lizard people are always interpreted as being evil. I've not met one that's nice.
Oh, I
It's like
see.
they're like orcs.
So Star Wars is kind of leaning into the oh, these lizard people are evil. Like we're on the side of
Yeah.
the Wookiees. See, and that's what I appreciate about this Legolas and Gimli. Now we kind of see it with the Gungans and Naboo, but they don't have. It's not in the same. It doesn't get to the same level for me because that one it's more just like racism bad. You know what I mean? Like it's just there was no reason for us to be upset with the Gungans or the Gungans to be upset with Naboo. Like we were just being wrong. Whereas here, you take two characters that have a bit of a racist outburst. Like it just is. It's a racist outburst from Gimli to start their relationship, and they become such good friends that they are inseparable. And that of overcoming their differences, almost wanting those differences in a friend instead of just having everyone be exactly the same. Uh, Almost accepting those differences for as being good to have in a friend is kind of what brings them together and makes them truly unique couple in terms of adventures movies that I can think of. And I just don't see enough of that. And I think again, like this is why the original trilogy, all the cool stuff you can talk about from the battle scenes to the direct quotes from the books. I mean, this is all good stuff and why the movies are good. But there are these moments from the novels themselves that was translated to the screen. Without them, the movie would have failed. It's actually partly why I think looking at some of those animated versions, which we've done, they don't quite capture the same magic. And part of it is because they don't have enough of these moments, the grounding moments for the hobbits and the relationship between Legolas and Gimli. Yeah, it's there, but it does not get nearly as much time and energy put into it as just getting the story finished in whatever capacity they could do that. Um, so I think I do think that this is something that people don't look at enough, and I hope that it starts to be more present. I hope Rings of Power can bring it back, but I hope it becomes more present in other areas, such as Star Wars, or even going into like the Marvel and DC universe. I'm sure there's ways to incorporate this aspect of people getting off on the wrong foot and becoming um, the best of friends. I think it's a powerful message that is it's a missed opportunity in a lot of these action adventure projects.
Yeah.
All right.
I regret to announce this is the end. I bid you all a very fond farewell.